In the midst of much confusion, we decided to unify. We won't let the vision die. We know there is a greater purpose. One aim, one destiny, and we'll all stay aligned to what's preferred by Yah. Man keep his hand in the hand of Yah, with woman by his side. Our children will follow, and together in unity we'll shine and glorify Yah. Together forever we'll glorify Yah. In unity together we'll glorify Yah. In truth and in unity. One love, one destiny, one great family. In truth and in unity. One love, one destiny, one great family. Yeah. Nothing will ever come between us. Our bond is tight, doing what's required and what's right. Now there is a greater purpose. One aim, one destiny, and we'll all stay aligned to what's preferred by Yah. Man keep his hand in the hand of Yah, with woman by his side. Our children will follow, and together in unity we'll shine and glorify Yah. Together forever we'll glorify Yah. In unity together we'll glorify Yah. In truth and in unity. One love, one destiny, one great family. In truth and in unity. One love, one destiny, one great family. You gave us back to one another. He opened up our eyes and he gave us the gifts of Yah. We know there is a greater purpose. One aim, one destiny, and we'll all stay alive to us. We heard by Yah. Man, keep those hands in the hands of Yah, with woman by his side. Our children will follow. Together in unity we'll shine and glorify Yah. Together forever. And now we can do it in unity together. Glorify Yah. Right now. And in unity. Together in unity. One love, one destiny. One great family. Together forever, you glorify Yah. In unity together, glorify Yah. We gotta have that. One love, one destiny. Still got to go together forever, don't you know you glorify Yah. In unity together, glorify Yah. In truth and in unity, I must be fast. Yes, one love, one destiny. Yeah, one great together forever, you glorify Yah. In unity together, glorify Yah. It's true that it's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. One great together. Come on, together, let's work together hand in hand. Glorify Yah. all over the land. Right now, truth and unity. One love, one destiny. One love, one aim. Together forever. Glorify God in your glorify God in truth and in unity. Truth and unity. One love, one destiny. Shalom, family. Shalom. Welcome. We're going to do something a little different this morning. We're going to talk about a few things also, but we're going to do something a little different. Among my subscribers, we have some people that are now doing videos, and I want to shine the spotlight on many of these people. And some just did some good content, and I just want to shout them out. So not only am I going to talk about your YouTube channel, I'm also going to show a video. We have some real good all-stars among our people, and they deserve to have a much bigger audience. And I'm proud to be able to highlight some of their videos today and show you exactly who they are and how I feel about them, just in general. It's good to see you all here this morning. Always good to see the family. There's been so many things going on in this country with the flu, and many of you have been following my stories. And I tell you, it's about to take a turn for the worse. Good morning, Queen, the Radical Home Goddess. Good morning to you. Not only is the flu shutting down schools across America now, the dog flu is now on the rise. And there's also a form of that flu for cats. And I remember probably around this time last year, my next door neighbors are Haitian, and they have a cat, but their cat is an outdoor cat. He always comes over, and I have a glider on my front porch that you can sit in and swing back and forth in. He always likes to go under my glider. And one morning I heard all this loud coughing on my front porch. And I was like, it actually sounded like a human being on my front porch. And I was like, who's on my front porch doing all that coughing? So I opened the door. It was the cat. And that was the first time, and that was the first time I got a glimpse of, what it's like for a cat. I mean, the cat literally was coughing like a human. It sounded like a human being was coughing. Yes, the dog flu is on the rise. This is why I don't believe what's going on is a natural flu, y'all. I don't believe this is natural. Just this whole thing seems very unnatural, like somebody planted this stuff in the environment. I don't believe this is a natural flu. And our queen, the Radical Home Goddess, was also talking about Fukushima, and that's not even far-fetched, because you have to remember that radiation went worldwide, and this flu is worldwide. I was looking at reports in Australia and France and the UK. This flu seems to be everywhere. It's in Japan. I was looking at an article from Ireland and Scotland. It's hitting them hard there, all across Europe. And Puerto Rico is got a severe case, but the amazing thing is the Virgin Island right next to it don't. Go figure. But this is definitely not a natural flu, y'all. There is definitely something going on that, yes, when when this cat coughed on my porch, I literally thought somebody was standing on my porch coughing. It was the cat. The cat had a form of flu, but this was last year, wasn't this year. It freaked me out, and I didn't even have Loretta at that time. I didn't get Loretta until March of last year. So I haven't even quite had her a year. But just be careful, brothers and sisters. I just can't say that enough, because this flu is nothing to play with. Whatever it is, it's deadly. And it's killing children within days of getting this flu. Many of these kids that have died in this country, I think they said it's up to 37 children dead. These kids are dying within 2 to 3 days of getting this flu. So the ones that are dying very quickly once they get this form of flu. So you definitely want to be careful. You definitely don't want to play around. Now, I also want to tell you guys about an incident that occurred with me. Brother Dawa had a hangout. There was one individual in the hangout throughout this whole hangout was attacking me. And by the end, I kind of figured it was a child and not an adult. Now, I don't fault Brother Dawa for this, because live streaming is quite new for him. I think, he was so focused on what he was talking about to the point where he was not paying attention to the comment section. I did send him an email. He's going to have to just learn how to watch, because if you're getting so deep into your conversation where trolls can come in and do that kind of stuff, and you're not really focusing on the people in your comment section, that could be a big problem, And to be honest with you, that's why I stopped watching a couple of hangouts, because I would notice some people, and I don't know if they do it intentional, they don't have moderators. And then what they do is, when the trolls come in, they let the trolling go on, and they don't do anything to stop the trolling. And there were a few people in the past. That's why I don't go to their hangouts anymore, because they're so busy gabbing on the video to the point where they don't control what's going on in the chat section. And that is a big problem. So that's why you got to have moderators. Exactly, J-Dog. You have to have moderators. That way, one person can't come in and just overrun your entire chat. So I don't know whether he saw my message or not, but I definitely sent him one. And I just kind of took it the person was a child, not an adult, only because of the way they were interacting. They were like, you don't do videos about coons. So that set you off? First of all, I've done David Clark. I've done Charles Barkley. I've done Pastor Mark Burns. I've done numerous coons. Okay, I did the one where you saw the guy get beat up in jail by his corrections officer. I have done a ton of coon videos. So I'm not even worried about it. Yeah, there was also a gay white guy in his comment section trolling. It's new to him, so I don't slam him for this, but he really got to learn how to watch the comments. So, those kind of things don't happen. Yeah, you got to learn how to multitask. Exactly, Nicole. You really do. If you, unfortunately, some people that are not used to it will tend not to pay attention. So I don't fault him, because he hasn't done many, and he's just got to learn along the way. He really does. So, it's not all the way his fault. But I remember I used to go to a hangout. This probably was like back in 2012, somewhere around there. And white trolls would come in, call everybody nigger, nigger, nigger. And these people just kept right on talking. They didn't try to kick the trolls out.
They didn't moderate anybody. They didn't make anybody moderators. And the whole time we're trying to enjoy the hangout, but these trolls kept coming in and they weren't doing anything about it. So I eventually, although I liked their videos, I got frustrated and I just stopped watching and going to hangouts altogether because they just weren't, I didn't like that. You know, you're saying that you believe in your people, you love your people, but you're letting white trolls come in and call us nigger all day long, and you're not doing nothing to remove them. You know, so some of our people really do have to work on those things. But until then, you know, I believe Brother Dawa will get it together. In time, he will, and those things will be eliminated. So let's get on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, there are some people that are putting out great content and they're doing good videos, and I'm going to show you each one. That's right. Dawa is new to live streaming. That's why I'm not mad at him at all. Like I said, he's got to get the hang of it. Not mad at the brother. Okay. Let's get on with this. Now, this first person is Sister Shayla Yisrael. Sister Shayla is someone that I met online 2 years ago. And before I was doing videos, ladies and gentlemen, I used to be, yes, you want to be a moderator? Hold on. I'll make you one right now. All right, you're a moderator. Okay. Let me get back to what I was saying. Woo. Sister Shayla is someone that I met 2 years ago. Before I start doing videos, ladies and gentlemen, for 2 years, I was a moderator over on a private Hebrew site. Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure. I'm glad to have you as a moderator. I used to be a moderator over on a private Hebrew site. It was called HISN. And it was all Hebrew Israelites. I used to be out there all the time. And finally, I was approached to be a moderator. And I'm 2 years. It was unbelievable, the amount of information I learned from being on that particular site. Oh, okay, JDog88. So she and I became acquainted. We start interacting with each other all the time. And when she started doing videos, I was so happy because it's a voice that is very much needed. We need as much people that are in our corner as we can get, because as you can see, we literally have no friends. So anytime we come across people that is about us, then it is my pleasure to be your subscriber. We have too much division. We got Black people attacking other Black people online. We got coons. Whenever you say something about swirling, they get upset. In fact, I had three Black guys troll the video I did on the swirler that got beat up in jail. And by the way, I think the reason why his face was swollen, when you think about corrections officers, when they take you out of your cell, they always have you either handcuffed or shackled. They have your hands cuffed and your ankles shackled. I think when he was taken into that office and that corrections officer beat him up, he was either shackled or handcuffed and could not fight back. That's why he looks like that. And see, these dirty, rotten devils will do that. They love it where they got an advantage and you don't have it. That's why they used to always come after our Black men with 20 of them and one Black guy. Because, see, they have no real guts. They have no real strength. That's why they have to come at you in a pack, like a pack of dogs. So I believe that's what happened to them. But I literally had three y'all come and troll because they were butt sore that I did not take the side of that swirler that got beat up. Or they tried to come in and tell me what kind of videos I need to put up and all that. So you got to understand. So I just had to block all of them. But you have to understand, when you put up swirler videos, the coons that are actually swirling are going to come and troll you. Okay, just understand that. All right, that's my phone ringing here. All right. But just ignore that. Anyway, just understand, we get attacked, and I know the radical home goddess knows this. We get attacked on so many levels, not just from white people. We get attacked from our own people, especially when we put up those type of stories. And when I have to get rid of trolls, it's the racist trolls. And unfortunately, there are men and women that are hell-bent on trying to bring the gender war to my channel. And I just simply won't let it happen, y'all. I won't let it happen. I'm not interested in the gender war. Is the gender war going to get us out of all of this oppression? I mean, seriously, is it going to get us out of this oppression? What is it going to do other than entertain the oppressor so we can sit around and fight while they take joy at our division? To hell with that. I'm not down with that. So no, that happens. I would say somebody comes with the gender war at least once a week. I get those people that try to come with that nonsense. Well, that's on them. Duma S, but they can't bring that, oh, you can't say anything bad about Becky. No. Don't come over here with that crap. Oh, yeah. August Dream, you're right. You put up anything about swirling or coons protecting their oppressor, they come to attack you. Absolutely, they do. Okay. Now I'm going to show Sister Shayla's video, and we'll go over these one by one. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, present to everyone. There we go. All right, so let's go over her video, and then we will discuss this. Like I said, I really love this sister, and she, if anyone deserves more subscribers, it's her. All right.
Greetings, family. This is Shayla, and I'm back with another video. I'd like to call this an update to the video that I did the other day on the Planned Parenthood president that we're calling out Black women or white women to join with white women in their fight for equality. And this article reads that Cecil Richards reportedly plans to step down as Planned Parenthood president. Now just a day or so ago, or a couple of days ago, I just did a video on her wanting white women to join with Black women. Why is such a sudden change? Because there weren't enough foolish Black women to fall for it? But anyway, I digress. There article reads, Cecilia Richards, the president of Planned Parenthood Federation of American Planned Parenthood Action Fund, will step down from her role after more than a decade, according to a report. So she had been the president of Planned Parenthood for 10 years. I wonder just how many Black babies were aborted and killed in that amount of time. But I digress once again. BuzzFeed, citing two anonymous sources, reported that Richard has told some members of the organization board of directors about her plans. The report did not specify when Richards plans to step down. In a statement, a spokesperson for Planned Parenthood did not confirm or deny the report. Cecilia, or Cecil, I don't know if it's a man's name or how you pronounce it, but it's I think it's Cecil, plans to, or Cecilia, or whatever, plans to discuss 2018 and the next steps for Planned Parenthood's future at the upcoming board meeting. The statement said, BuzzFeed reports that the meeting is scheduled for late next week. Richards, who also serves on the board of the Ford Foundation, has led Planned Parenthood, which provides reproductive health services, and is also the country's largest abortion provider since 2006. She expanded the organization's fundraising capabilities and courted high-profile supporters. Her departure comes amid continued attempts from Republican lawmakers and President Donald Trump to defund the organization and curb abortion access. Yeah, okay, I'll just bet that's the only reason. Now, by her stepping down, to show you the arrogancy of these beings, of these inhumane beings, if she believes that she will not have to pay for the damage that's been done for the decade she was in office, she's seriously mistaken. But I just wanted to bring that update to you, family, mainly for my sisters out there. She does, Cecil Richards reportedly plans to step down as Planned Parenthood's president, and good riddance. Thank you for visiting my channel, family. Please like and share the video and subscribe, and I'll see you good people on the next video. Shalom.
Okay, y'all. Okay. I want to put the link to that video in the chat. You know, if you are not a subscriber, get over there and subscribe to this sister. She is phenomenal. I'm also subscribed to her over on Black Junction and Black Spot. So again, you know, that Cecil Richards, first of all, when she made that comment, white women, we got to do better. First of all, what she really meant, see, lately, Black women have been in the spotlight. White women don't like Black women in the spotlight. So she wants white women to come and, you know, we got to push these Negroes out the way and get back in the spotlight, white women. You know, I've seen that even on jobs. These people, they don't like Black women to steal any thunder from them at all. So I can't stand anybody from Planned Parenthood because we know what it is. The whole idea of Planned Parenthood was to establish a way to genocide us. Okay? We're feeble-minded and all this nonsense, but I guess there are people out here that are pedophiles and having sex with animals. I guess they're not feeble-minded, right? Give me a break. So, you know, just what it represents, I'm totally against it. You know, I remember back when I was pregnant with my son, once I started feeling his presence in my womb, there's no way I could take and destroy that life. It just was not me. I love being a mother. I loved watching him grow up. I would have missed out on all of that if I would have gotten an abortion. So I thank the Most High. I never had that mindset. But Planned Parenthood was all about destroying us. That's the only reason why it's in existence. And the way I see it, fuck her and fuck her organization. Seriously. Yes, I have a son. Yep, I have a son. I know it's a little hard to know that I actually have a life because I do the videos, and you would think I don't, but I really do. You know, there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes. And I'm going to update you in the coming weeks of things that are going on. And yes, you will eventually get a glimpse of me on camera. That's going to be happening soon too. But there's a lot of things in the works that are going on. And, you know, in the next upcoming videos and live streams, I will fill you all in. A lot of great things happening. So, Sister Shayla Yisrael, please get over there and subscribe to this sister. Now, my next one is the Vanguard Veritas. Oh, I love his channel. He only has 76 subscribers. His videos are excellent. Another brother that's down for our people. Get over to his channel and subscribe. I will, just like I did for Sister Shayla, I will leave the link to his video after it completely plays. So let me go ahead and play this video so you can hear how great this brother really is.
Thank you all for joining me. This is a story that was actually sent to me by one of my subscribers. I want to thank Kevin Thompson. And this comes from The Root. And the descendants of 272 slaves sold by Georgetown say they want reparations now. This article was published on January 21st, 2018. And since this is from The Root, we're going to get to the root of this story. Now let's just go ahead and get into the article. This is a Jesuit statue in front of Freedom Hall, formerly named Mulledy Hall, on Georgetown University campus. This is in Washington, D.C. And as reported by The Root when the story first broke, the academic institution of Georgetown owes the entire existence to the sale of enslaved Black men, women, and children. In 1838, the sale of these humans by Jesuit priests saved the school from bankruptcy. To this day, it remains a thriving academic institution filled with rich endowment. And many people do not know what a Jesuit is. This is Jesuits.org. You can actually go on their site and read all about it. And what they say right here is they are the Society of Jesus, a Roman Catholic order of priests and brothers founded half a millennium ago. These are your same Caucasoids who continue to terrorize our community up until this day. Rome's richest province was in Africa, current day Libya. So everything that they have built has been off of the backs of Black people for the past 2,000 years, and they continue to benefit off of that success. This man right here is Patrick Healy. He was the university's 29th president, and he was actually born into slavery due to the one-drop rule. He had a Caucasian father and a mixed mother, and because of that, he had to hide who he was. His Black ancestry was not discovered until he died. And even today, you can't go to Georgetown University and find at least half of the faculty being Black. See, when they were drinking and having fun and partying, we were building the nation's most prolific universities. They could never pay us back. The university finally apologized for selling the slaves, but guess what? We don't want your apology. We're not going to sit here and pray and forgive you. Those days are over. A wise man once said, when someone showed you who you are, believe them. So come up your checkbook. It's time to get paid. And although Georgetown has apologized and even offered admissions advantage to the descendants of the 272 slaves it sold, talk about a legacy edge. Some of those descendants are saying that it's not merely commensurate to know what their ancestors gave the school. See, everything in this country is about money. Georgia Gosseley led counsel for the GU 272 Isaac Hawkins Legacy Group, which includes 200 people, says that her clients, quote, do not believe Georgetown has fully atoned for the wealth it unjustly accumulated off of the backs of unpaid slave labor according to the Washington Post. The GU 272 Isaac Hawkins Legacy Group has asked for a direct benefit for descendants. The Post reports that Thomas Kramer, an associate professor at the University of Connecticut, helped the group calculate its request for restitution, based on the idea that forced labor created wealth for others rather than enslaved people. He also said that the descendants would have otherwise inherited money earned through their foreparents' wages and interest, just like these demons are inheriting and passing down the wealth owed to us to their descendants. These Edomites just do not want to pay what they owe. Yet you've had all these presidents back to back. This is Babylon. In other words, give me the loot. Megan Dubiak recently said that the school has, quote, taken initial steps to right the wrong, including making a formal apology, renaming 2 buildings, and giving the admissions advantage. It also offered professional level genealogy for the offspring of the original slaves. So basically, they want to give you an olive branch because Esau doesn't want to pay what he owes. Let me give you some free education. No, some people may be disgusted to even walk your campus, and you want to give somebody an admission. But this is their high IQ. Georgetown President Joe DeGoya doesn't seem to want to really discuss the R word and has already proposed making amends that are linked to education, even partnering with HBCUs. You see, they want to determine the method that they repair their damage. It's not up to you anymore. You don't have the authority. Once you have committed a crime, you don't have the authority to determine how you repair what you have done wrong. But this is their high IQ. They want to always remain in authority. But given the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Black people now have college degrees, yet just a fraction of the wealth white Americans do, I'm down for the cash, Jack. And 70-year-old Dee Taylor, a direct descendant of Isaac Hawkins, for whom the university recently renamed the building, agrees. I believe Georgetown has the means to do much more. Of course they do. They got a campus in D.C. It's not cheap to be in D.C. and have that type of endowment. Georgetown, for its part, says it wants to continue the dialogue with these descendants of the original 272 persons. However, Gossett responded, quote, dialogue is always a good thing, but we can talk forever while the descendants are languishing, literally dying and in poor health and suffering from the vestiges of slavery. If there is real genuine concern, let's take action. Again, all they want to do is talk about it, and believe me, they're going to talk about it for as long as they can. They're going to talk about it until they believe that you have forgotten about it. Taylor said that she broke down crying when she read the bill of sale for a 10-year-old boy who was sold to a Louisiana cell in 1838. Quote, he was on the bottom of the ship. It was wet. It was damp. It was cold, she said. I have a 12-year-old grandson, she continued. When I look back, I think about that 10-year-old boy. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. I'm a great-grandmother. I can just see those babies on that ship crying with their mother shackled or left behind. I feel their pain and grief for knowing that they would never see each other again. She has questions, namely, quote, how in the name of Jesus could the church I grew up in commit such hideous sin and bury the truth for so many years? And this is why Harriet Tubman said, I quote, I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if they only knew there were slaves. And if they only knew that this white Jesus did not exist, maybe more people would finally be free. Also, quote, how can Georgetown still owe its existence to these ancestors? Claim genuine atonement when family descendants were not at the table, when recommendations for making amends were offered, discussed, and chosen. She finally adds, they need to make it right, plain, and simple. And it's not just Georgetown. There's many other industries. There's many other companies. All of that wealth did not go away. These companies have taken on new names. They have evolved, but they still owe the cash. I want to hear what you all think. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell at the bottom 2 times for the next video. Peace, family.
All right. That was outstanding. And let me just go ahead and post the link to this video. And he's right. American universities, many of them were built and they earned their financing from selling slaves. And with the money that they use from selling and auctioning off slaves, they built many of these universities in this country. You know, they bitch and complain about us wanting reparations, which we're really entitled to it more than any other group they've given it to. The bottom line is just what they have done to us in the 20th and 20th century alone, we deserve reparations. Number one, don't they collect our property taxes for public schools and they poorly educate Black people? And 97% of the teachers in the Black community are white females, and our children are still not getting an adequate education. So give me my money back since you're not going to educate our kids, right? Number two, I got you in there, J-Dog. Come on, you think I was going to forget about you? Number two, we have paid taxes that go towards police departments that kill us unarmed, that mass incarcerate us, that don't give us the proper due process that we deserve. Give us our money back because you're not protecting us. So if they don't want to go all the way back to slavery, then fine, let's talk about what they're doing now. Okay, so what they're doing now, give us our money back if you don't want to do the right thing. Plain and simple. Hey, Robin, the girl wonder. So, you know, these people are a joke. The bottom line is they don't want to do the right thing. And all this stuff they're talking about, all these programs and, oh, we'll give you a free education, that amounts to nothing compared to everything they've done to us. It's got to be monetary. If it's not monetary, then it's not a real reparation, plain and simple. So let's go on to the next video. Okay, here's someone that I have grown to really love their videos, and he's also a patron and one of my subscribers. And he just did this video that I watched this morning, and I absolutely loved it. Ayapo Yapa. This is another person. He has 167 subscribers, and believe me, this man deserves far, far more than that amount of subscribers. So make sure you get over and support this brother and what he's doing. He really does have some very outstanding videos that you need to see. Not to mention, he has an off-the-chart intro and outro. I just love. So let me go ahead and play this brother's videos. This video right here. At war with the N-word.
Family, I'm very concerned. I think that I've been having premonitions of the future. And it's been bothering me so much that I went and I told my doctor about it. And my doctor asked me when I started having them. And I said, next Tuesday. Peace, family. This is Ayapo, and this is Ayapo Yapa. Ayapo Yapa is an acronym that stands for if you are pissed off, yada yada yada. You guys know, and you know at the beginning that was that's an old joke. That's one of my favorite jokes. So you know me. Anyway, and I have to apologize in advance. I'm under the weather, but I definitely want to do this share because I saw something that really bothered me yesterday. Excuse me. I like to go on sites where scammers get scammed. I love them because I hate scammers. I think they're the scum of the earth. There's a lady that did a share, and a scammer called her. She knew it was a scammer from the very beginning, and they went on and on with this scammer. It's a white girl. And at the end of the call, the scammer realized that she had just wasted like a half an hour of her time, which is good. And he called her the M word. And now, of course, he had no way of knowing, what her race was or whatever. But the point was, for me, when I heard that, I was like, people all around the world use that derogatory term for our people. They know that it is the most degrading and derogatory term that you can use. And yet we still use it. We use it on our own people. We get mad or get a beef, and then we start using that against our own people. Of course, we use it in the popular music and so on. But the point is that the term is so derogatory that it's something that we should expunge from our vocabulary altogether. We can't stop white people from using it, but they've always used it. But we need to stop using it. And we try to use that excuse that we're using it because we're taking it back. We're taking it and we're empowering ourselves with it. All this garbage. That's garbage. That is pure garbage. Now I'm going to give you two things: a profanity alert and an object lesson. In this object lesson, it's about shit, right? Now, what if someone every day is feeding you shit every day? Every day for years, they're forcing you to eat shit every day. And then one day you finally get pissed off enough that you snatch it from them. You take it away from them. And you say, now I have it. I have control of this. And what do? So what does that prove? What does it do? What does it mean? You took that shit and you started feeding it to yourself. Feeding it, having control of the bowl and feeding it to yourself does not change that shit into chocolate ice cream. It's still shit and you're still eating it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? The M word, there's no way that we can ever take the M word and change it into chocolate ice cream. It is still shit, and we're still feeding it to ourselves. And let me tell you a little secret. And you might not even get this. White people love hearing us call each other the M word. You know why? Because they can't call us that, not out, just be out front with it. They're getting a little more bold about it now, bringing it back out. But remember when Richard Spencer had somebody knock the piss out of him?
Are you like the hipster version of the neo-Nazi movement?
It's Pepe has become kind of a symbol.
How did that make you feel? Made me feel great. Made me feel terrific. I loved it, and so did you. You probably watched this several times just to watch him have somebody knock his block off. Were you the one that did it? No. Was the person who did it to him black? No. then why you take so much joy in it? Just because you enjoy seeing Richard Spencer get the piss knocked out of him. Doesn't matter who did it. And that's what I'm saying about the N-word. All they love is music to them. Hearing us call that is like a song to them. So it doesn't matter who sings it. They don't care whether they're singing it or whether we're singing it to each other. They just love hearing us call each other that. They just love hearing us have that reference made to our people. And we're falling right in, and we fell right into their trap. And they use that, of course, as their excuse. Well, you guys call yourselves that. How can we get... That's stupid on the face of it. But they do have a freaking point. We need to get rid of that term within our community. We really do. Now, this actually isn't going to be all that long of a share. But I just wanted to come on again, and I might be like just this lone voice that's constantly out here yelling, crying out against this term. And if I'm the only one doing it, then I'll just be the only one doing it. But I'm not going to stop. This is my own little personal war on that word. Because I'm about the unification of our people. And that's a divisive term. It's a derogatory, degrading term that we should not be using. That's their word. Let them keep it. Keep that crap. It is not ours. And it never will be. It never will be. Somebody used that term in speaking at the National Press Club, I think it was, directly to the President of the United States.
And now, to live in your time, Mr. President, when a Black man can lead the entire free world. Words alone do me no justice. So, Mr. President, if I'm going to keep it 100, yo, Barry, you did it, my nigga. Did it.
That was disgusting in front of all these white folks. And when we have YouTube beefs or Twitter beefs and all this different stuff, and we're calling each other that, you got all these white folks looking. Okay, who cares what they think? It's not about that. You know, nobody cares what they think. I only care what white people think to the degree that it affects our forward progress. But I don't care in terms of, what are they going to think? Who cares what they think? Who cares? Because they damn sure don't care what we think. Anyway, I apologize. My voice might be a little bit raspy. Like I said, I'm not 100% today. Excuse me. Nicole's View, this coming Monday, she has an interview with Esther Quinn, Mrs. Esther Quinn, I'm sorry, about her son, Andre Jones, who, if you'll remember, back in 1992, at the age of 18, he was arrested and he died in prison. You know, they used the old "he hung himself" garbage with his own shoelaces. Please. The young man was murdered. But I'm going to give you the lab for Nicole's View, where she's explaining about the upcoming interview on Monday. And I suggest that you watch it. I'm looking forward to hearing what Mrs. Quinn has to say. Also, purchase This Black. I'm always going to ask you to purchase This Black. It is entertainment and information for our people, by our people, which is Anjali Shabazz, wrote the book, and it is. If you want to know anything about it, just take a look at the review that I did on it, the review that Gwen B did on it, and I think you'll get a good understanding of just how good this book is. Also, and I'll give you the lab for that also to Amazon so that you can purchase the book. Also, you'll want to visit the site of CAP PY2. This is a brother who, look, there are people who get on YouTube and they're trying to become YouTube famous, but there are some people who honestly get on here out of love of our people. Okay, on Cap PY2's channel, he sings and he plays guitar. Now, I come from a large family. When we were young, we used to put on plays for each other and perform for each other. We used to perform for our mom. And it wasn't out of anything but just love for our family and wanting to share our gifts and share with our family. And that is what you will find when you get to the channel of Cap PY2. I really enjoy his music. It comes from the heart. And I like the rawness of it too. So go there, by all means, subscribe to that brother's channel and listen to some of the songs. You won't be sorry. As for me, like, share, subscribe. By all means, comment. And as always, family, much love and respect, and peace and blessings. Don't use the M word. Don't use it. Peace.
All right. That was outstanding. Here is the link to that video. Please get over there and subscribe to our brother. You know, it gives you more of a, wide variety of subscribers you can listen to on a regular basis. Okay. And I do agree with him. Please support the Radical Home Goddess book, This Black. I have the book. I got it a few months back and I really enjoyed it. I watched the whole book. I read it on my tablet and it was a nice read. So the Radical Home Goddess, please go ahead and post the link to your book. Please go get the link and post it out here for everybody. Oh, my pleasure. You know, so let's go through a few more of these videos. As you can see, we have some very talented people among us. This is JDog88. He's another one that just started putting videos out here. And I, been picking up and watching his videos and they are really good. I want to see this brother do well out here on YouTube. He has 90 subscribers. I think we can definitely do better by him and bring more subscribers over here to his channel. I'm going to go ahead and play this video that he did at the African American Museum. And he actually has a whole series of them, as you can see, part 2, part 3, 4, 5. So it goes on and on. So you can get to see this.
Hey everyone, J-Dog here. Nice to see everyone. This is probably one of the first videos I reveal myself, my face. Yeah, I'm wearing a coat and hat because it's cold outside. Now, here's where I am. You probably already saw the sign. I'm at the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture. This big building right here. I'm with my mother. Well, she's waiting for me up there. Yeah, so I'm about to go in, maybe take some photos and videos. Might be able to post some. All right, I'm about to head up right now. Hope to catch you around. See you in maybe more videos while I'm inside. But yeah, and if you hear anything, that's all the background noise from all the cars and stuff. But hopefully, I might be able to share my experience with y'all. By the way, like showing myself again. This is J-Dog. I'll see you in my next video.
All right. Now, since that was so short, I'm going to show part 2.
Trading as equals. Let me repeat that. Trading as equals with white Europeans, Asian, Mediterraneans, the then known world, musicians, poets, dancers. If you're familiar with Timbuktu, I call it STEM back in the day. There were scientists, technologists, engineers, and mathematicians. 2 things to remember in this space here. What makes you want to holla, H-O-L-L-A, because there's going to be a lot that's going to make you want to holla. The sadness, the sorrow, the tears, the abject hatred, and the abject, just the treatment of human beings, although not considered, but we know that that is incorrect. But on the flip side, what brings you joy? The transformation, the resilience, the hope, and the absolute courage that it had to have taken a people to have gone through what they went through, and despite all of that, moved forward. We're going to start moving so that we can get this space here uncongested. First person accounts, you're going to read and see and hear, because we want people to know that these were human beings, individuals that this happened to. On the right-hand side, and you can come down both the right and the left. On the right-hand side, there are 5 African nation states that are highlighted, along with some of the products that were being traded. When you get down to the end of the case, shackles and chains representing the transatlantic slave trade and enslavement. Conversely, on the left-hand side, 5 European nation states that are being developed at this time. Some of the products that they were trading. When you get down, you'll see a white European woman with an African enslaved boy. At the apex on the left, you'll see a sugar pot, which becomes the driver of the slave trade in the 1600s, when the New World was opened up. I don't say discovered, because there were indigenous people already living in the New World that we must honor and recognize, because they were displaced. So it is very important to honor and recognize.
Okay. Let me get the link to this video, and please get out and support this brother. That's one thing I definitely want to do this year, is get to the museum. You know, and it makes me laugh whenever we hear white women and people of other groups that try to act like they've been through something as bad as our people, which is laughable. Okay. But you notice how everybody wants to compare their plight to us, and there's no comparison. There is no comparison to what happened to our ancestors on this soil. There is no comparison to what we go through with these cops out here compared to everyone else in the society. So they can try to make their plight equivalent to us, but it's just not flying at all. But I want to thank you for giving us that glimpse, J-Dog88, at the museum, because there are so many people that haven't been there yet and want to get an opportunity to see it. You know, it's one of many things that is owed to us. It does give us some insight on our legacy here in America. And it is definitely something that we all should get around to seeing. Even if you can't go this year, try to plan a trip to get out there sometime next year. So thank you, J-Dog, and just follow the link that I posted and get over and subscribe. All right. This is a guy that I started listening to, I would say over the summer. And he does very good videos. He's also out on Black Junction as well. And I like his messages. They're really good. They're powerful. Sometimes many of them pertain to sports, but it's still a very good message. He never loses sight of who he is, and that's always brought out in his videos. So let me go ahead and play Black Reality TV. And he has 4,000 subscribers. He's actually been out here a little longer, but I'm pretty much still new to his channel, but I'm enjoying the content.
What's going on, everybody? Black Reality TV. Shout out to the homie Fight Critic. Got this story from him. I'll put the link in the description box. USA Today article. So the NFL pulls this ad that was going to appear during this year's Super Bowl. First of all, I want to start off by saying I'm not surprised by the two teams that are going to be playing in this game. The New England Cheaters. We all know that the commissioner and the owner are buddy. So, you know, they're gonna put the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. And the Philadelphia Eagles, we got to remember Malcolm Jenkins, man. Malcolm Jenkins sold us out for a little piece of change. And he decided to stop protesting because Master gave him some nice butter biscuits. But anyway, so the NFL are talks with military groups, and they were deciding to have a ad saying, "Please stand." Basically telling people to stand for the national anthem. I don't give a fuck about your plight. I don't give a fuck about anything that's going on in your community. And the interesting part is, I was reading this article that the NHL, the hockey league, and the NBA are going to do something similar for their All-Star game that's coming up. That's very interesting. Remember, the beginning of the year, Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, wrote a letter to all 30 NBA teams reminding players to stand for the national anthem. And they have a policy put in place. Let's not forget that they must stand for the national anthem or there will be repercussions. So this is all starting to make sense. All I have to say is fuck the NFL. I haven't watched one down in NFL this year. I'm happy. I hope this is the lowest rating Super Bowl of all time. The NFL can kiss my ass. That's all I really got to say. I'm out, man.
All right. That's Black Reality TV. And let me put his link in here. And I'm right. He's right. You know why they're making such a big issue over the national anthem? It's because they feel like they're losing control over their property. And that's us. See, years ago, you know, some of our people did get up for that national anthem. And many of us stayed silent about the national anthem for many decades. We didn't say anything. Our people, you saw Black celebrities invited to sing the national anthem, and everybody kind of went along with the program. Now we are in the day and age of so much being at our disposal as far as learning. You know, you have the internet, you can access just about any subject matter you want, and they can't control us like they used to. And it's really ticking them off. So when they can't control us over this national anthem, they're wondering to themselves, well, what else are they going to reject? What's going on? Our slaves are not acting like slaves anymore. And I say we just keep right on showing them that we are no longer about holding up to society when it has treated us so poorly. We're not about it no more. So if you can, get over to Black Reality TV and throw your support behind this brother. All right. The next video is a brother that I actually met online this past fall. And the reason why I met him is because he actually lives in the same town that my favorite uncle lives in. He lives in Miami Gardens down in Florida. And that blew me away. And then when I started listening to his content, I love his content. I love his content. He always has a very good message. GMOG stands for, I believe it's like Great Man of God Media TV. So, you know, and plus when he started doing the Frederica Wilson, if you remember when Trump slammed her, he actually lives on the same street with Frederica, the representative Frederica Wilson, that Trump was going back and forth with over the phone call that he made to LaDavid Johnson's widow, because she was there. And my uncle actually don't live but a few blocks away from her. So, you know, they all kind of live close together, but that's what kind of drew my attention. And then I started watching his videos and I absolutely love his videos. So I'm going to go ahead and play this particular one that he just put out on January 24th.
I speak facts, truth, and logic. When it comes to my channel, GMOG Media TV, which stands for Great Men of God TV, I talk about counter racism, and I offer my suggestions on how to replace this broken system of injustice with a system of justice. So I speak, like I said, nothing but facts, truth, and logic. So these are the facts. People classified as white are the biggest terrorists on the planet. Point blank and simple. And this 15-year-old out of Kentucky adds to the list of the face of terrorism. People classified as white are terrorists. They are white identity extremists. That's what they are. Facts. Those are facts. So this 15-year-old, Gabe Parker, as you can see here, there's this picture. All right. Did a mass shooting at his high school, killing 2 people and injuring 19 people. All right. And yet the FBI wants to label pro-blacks as black identity extremists, right? The dominant white society wants to continue to monitor people classified as black who have an inkling of identifying themselves as pro-black, right? Black identity extremists. And all kinds of other classified intel about monitoring black people, right? But these are the facts. This is undeniable data that cannot be refuted. All right. White supremacist murders more than doubled in 2017. All right. This is from an annual assessment of extremist-related killings. Now, I'm only relating the fact that an extremist, right? A white supremacist, of course, they're classified as white. They're white people. So I'm relating white people going on mass shooting sprees as related to this 15-year-old from Kentucky, Gabe Parker. He's white. He's a mass shooter. So he's a part of that ilk of white identity extremists doing mass shootings. He's a part of that ilk. Okay. But anyway, this story happened a couple days ago in Kentucky. Like I said, mass shooting, 15-year-old, guns down, 2 people, injures 19. They safely arrested this guy, and he'll be charged as an adult, I believe, for attempted murder and manslaughter. So he will not be seeing daylight anytime soon at all. I will definitely recommend the death penalty for this guy. And, you know, to the parents of this boy, I'm pretty sure they're going to act. This is what always happens with these kind of mass shootings, especially with during, you know, in schools. The suspects, parents or parent will always act shocked and surprised. I didn't know. Oh my gosh, I'm shocked. He was quiet, you know. That because you failed as a parent. You failed as a parent, and you should be arrested too for allowing that to happen. This boy should be arrested, as well as his parent or legal guardian should be arrested as well. Point blank and simple. Point blank and simple. All right. But I'm not going to really get too deep into the story. I'm just pointing out facts that the face of domestic terrorism and the biggest threat to society today are people classified as white who do these mass shootings. They kill more people than anybody else on the planet. Point blank and simple. All right. Point blank and simple. So yeah, that's really all I got for the story, man. You know, these are facts. You can't refute it. It is what it is. It's going to continue to happen. It's going to continue to happen with these mass shootings from white people. All right. From white people. Straight up. So those are my quick thoughts on that, family. Leave your comments down below about this story. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to also follow me on all my social media platforms. All my links will be down below in the description. All right, family. Until next time, Chauncey, aka the Black Separatist, signing out. Peace.
Okay. There you go. Like I said, this is also one of my favorites. Yes, he's like I said, you know, he brought out a good point. You know, we keep getting this BIE crap, but you notice, I want you all to take notice, ever since they came out with BIE, all of the mass shootings have come from white guys, white males, okay? All of the shootings from that point on have come from white males. I think that is absolutely hilarious. They're so busy trying to make us look bad, but the Most High is revealing who the real WIE is. Hey, the Vanguard, I just showed your video to everybody. I gave you a shout out. And now you're here. You know, so, you know, they're going to always try to shed a bad light on us. But all we have to do is just step aside, because no one is going to show their ass to the entire planet worse than they will. Okay. So, you know, they came out with that BIE crap right after the Stephen Paddock shooting. Okay. Where he opened fire on all of his own people at a country western, whatever, what was that? A country western festival? But, you know, but they have to be concerned about BIE. Give me a break. And in fact, I think like a day or two ago, there was another cop shooting. And they haven't showed the suspect yet. So that's how I know it's got to be a white guy, because they haven't showed anyone yet. But as soon as they show the identity of this person, I'm going to do that video. Okay, y'all. Okay. So I'm so glad. Go ahead and increase that subscriber list that you have. And this is actually the song that I played in the intro, and I did mean to put that out here too. Let me just go ahead. You should listen to some of this Hebrew music. It's really awesome. There we go. Okay. So, that's all I wanted to bring to you this morning. I wanted to show you some of the people that I am very interested in hearing every day when they put videos out. And there are a few more people. And Sister Shayla, I just shouted you out and showed your video too. I think you just got here, but yours was actually the first video I showed, giving you a shout out to your channel out here to everybody. So, I want to do this again. We'll probably do a part 2 because there are a few more people that I would like to point you to their channel. Absolutely. There's a lot of great Black YouTubers out here. We just got to get to know them. Now, there was another story that came up that I might do. Do you know in South Africa, y'all, South Africa has in some schools have banned the Afro. Banned Afro in a Black continent. A Black continent. They're banning the Afro. And of course, the students are having a fit, and they should. First of all, it just amazes me how do you go to a Black continent and then tell the people they can't come in certain areas there, and your butt don't even belong there. And now you are telling people that have hair that grows naturally woolly out of their scalp that they can't wear an afro. But yes, that is going on in South Africa, y'all. It's going on in South Africa. And in fact, I just subscribed to a new guy. But he hasn't really put out that many videos, and he's from South Africa. And, he said he was in the process of putting out more videos about the discrimination and everything that's going on in South Africa. So as he started putting those videos out, I will definitely highlight the, his channel as well, as soon as he gets more content out there. Yeah, we've been overran by the lowest form of hybrids on the face of the earth, but what can we do? It's a disgrace to have these entities over us. It really is. Yes, I did see that, J-Dog, the Black reporter that's suing the Young Turks, but I'm not surprised. That's the way it is all over this country. Like I said, all of these jobs, if you notice, all of these jobs are ran like plantations. When you go in there, upper management is all white, and then everybody else down at the bottom is a mixture of everyone else. They run everything like a plantation in America. Everything. I don't care what job or sector it's in. It's all ran like a plantation because these folks don't know how to do anything any other way. Yes, they always been obsessed with us, Ayapo. That is so true. They always been obsessed with us. I really think they wake up with us on their minds and they go to sleep thinking about us. You have to almost wonder, if we weren't here, what would these people seriously be like? I don't think they would have made it beyond the caves if we weren't here. They would never have made it beyond the caves. They would still actually be right there. Yes, Magic City Magic City Enterprises, and repenting is very important. It absolutely is. Yeah, they are. They anything that's abnormal about them, they try to normalize it. Just like we see all this gay agenda and these you know, and it doesn't matter what group it is, the gays, the Mexicans, I mean, everybody attacks us. We are always we're everybody's whipping boy. Oh, you got flagged, Sister Shayla? Oh, oh. Well, they don't want. No, they don't. No, they don't, Sister Shayla. That's stupid. You know, sometimes I would mirror a video when I had my other channel, and they would hit me with a strike, but the person that put the original video up, they didn't hit them with nothing. So you know what YouTube is about. You know, and just the other day, and this go to show you how much they watch our channels. When I put up the video on locks and beards, black men with locks and beards, that video was not up. I don't even believe it was up 10 seconds. And it got a thumbs down immediately. That's how I know this is not all just random people. A lot of these people doing this stuff to our channels work for YouTube. They work for Google. I have no doubt about that. First of all, yeah, you know, first of all, I didn't have that video up. I don't even think 10 seconds went by. There's no way they could have watched the entire content of that video, but it got an immediate thumbs down as soon as it posted. Yeah, they're trying to ban afros in Africa South Africa of all places. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Vanguard. They hired 10,000 trolls, and yeah, right. They're going to be focusing on us. Absolutely. You know, and the ones that they really should be watching, they're not watching at all. But that's what happened to me just on that last video when I posted it about and I'm getting ready to do afros and beards and cornrows and beards. So stay tuned because those are coming. Yeah. Oh, the Black Panther film will be in South Africa. Good. Hopefully many of them will see. Yeah. You know, I have no doubt that most of their 10,000 is not going to be any of us. If it is, it'll be very few. In fact, let me see if I can, hold on 1 second. I'm going to take this off of screen sharing just for a moment. Let me see if I can find that video about South Africa. I do want you to see that one. All right, here it is. Let me go ahead and share my screen again.
Welcome back to the studio. You're watching Eye on Africa here on France 24. I'm Shona Bhattacharya. Let's take a look at our top stories in this edition. Hitting back at international criticism over Gabon's presidential vote, Ali Bongo tells opposition leader and losing candidate Jean Ping to take his demand for a recount to the country's constitutional court. And later in the program, we'll be taking a closer look at the growing outrage in South Africa over Black students' hair after the director of a prestigious girls' school in Pretoria was fired over the school's decades-old conduct policy. Our guest on the topic will tell us why the uproar is taking place now. Pointing his rival in the direction of Gabon's constitutional court, Ali Bongo, who was declared the winner of the August 27th presidential election, suggested Jean Ping take up the matter in court, a proposal rejected by the opposition leader. Bongo was responding to demands for a recount of the vote, which provoked post-election violence that killed at least 6 people. Alexander Alcott has more.
EU observers in Gabon say there's no doubt that the vote that led to Ali Bongo's re-election was deeply flawed. Central to their conviction are the results recorded in Ouougoué, one of 9 provinces in the country and a stronghold of the Bongo family.
In the province of Ouougoué, there were more non-voters than the Electoral Commission declared at the end of the vote.
The region reported a turnout of 99.93% compared to a national average of 48%. That would mean that only 51 people out of more than 71,000 on the region's electoral register didn't make it to the ballot box. Bongo is under increasing pressure at home and abroad, including from former colonial power France, to order a recount. He's refused casting aspersions on the integrity of EU observers and questioning the legitimacy of his rival's successes.
It's the Constitutional Court that does the counting and who are responsible for deciding whether to do a recount. And as far as the results concerned, I'm amazed people aren't talking about the provinces where Jean Ping apparently got 100% of the votes.
The opposition leader, Jean Ping, for his part, insists he has no faith in the Constitutional Court. The African Union has said that a delegation is headed for Gabon to mediate the crisis. It will likely be led by one of Africa's longest-serving heads of state, Idriss Déby, who's been in power in Chad since 1990.
Arresting a suspected militant in the Niger Delta, Nigerian authorities say soldiers and security officers detained Isaac Romeo with 2 other men a few days ago. Romeo is a suspected leader of the Niger Delta Avengers militant group that's been accused of attacking oil and gas infrastructure in the area. The group declared a ceasefire late August, but the Nigerian military continues to arrest suspected militants. A train accident in Ivory Coast has caused no deaths or injuries, but the derailment will have grave consequences for cargo traffic between Abidjan and Ouagadougou in Burkina Faso. The accident took place Tuesday when a gangway gave way. The bridge's metal structure is still intact, but clearing the twisted steel will take effort to clear. The Abidjan-Ouagadougou railway line is one of West Africa's major economic routes. Allowing protests to go ahead in Zimbabwe, the country's high court has overturned a 2-week ban on demonstrations in Harare, the capital, a decision made by police after a series of violent clashes with anti-government protesters. A group of 18 political parties challenged the ban. In recent months, growing anger has led to near-daily demonstrations in Harare, calling for 92-year-old Robert Mugabe, who has been in power since 1980, to step down. Maintaining grooming standards or targeting students for their race. Schools in South Africa have long had strict rules for students on their behavior, their uniforms, and their hair. Last month, Black students at the prestigious Pretoria High School for Girls protested a clause that banned wide cornrows, braids, and dreadlocks. The school, which was an all-white institution until the mid-1990s, dropped the restrictions, but the conversation about so-called acceptable Black hairstyles continues.
These students are challenging their teachers. Cape Town schoolgirls continuing a protest that started in Pretoria. They want their school to change its code of conduct. Black students are questioning why they are not allowed to wear their hair naturally, and they have the backing of their mothers in their struggle. For most of the protesters, the debate goes beyond hairstyles.
My child's got big hair, and now she must put water in her hair so that she can attend the school. They don't allow any afros in the school. And secondly, they can't speak Xhosa. They said they can't talk Xhosa during lunch or in the corridors or somewhere. They know they can speak English in the class, but outside the class, at least they can talk their mother language.
These girls have the support of former students who say they've had the same experiences. They say the rules in this previously whites-only school are racist.
They also use the word exotic hair when explaining what untidy and unacceptable hairstyles is. Those words like exotic are problematic, saying that African bodies and their hair on African soil is exotic. That's not the definition of exotic. When they say they expect neat and tidy hair, what is your meaning of neat?
Sansusi students eventually managed to meet with the Provincial Minister of Education. Their memorandum is being treated as urgent and is being dealt with at the highest level.
I'm very concerned, and you can't tell them they can't use their own hair and speak their own language. You know, I've heard it said that some of the reasoning that they must speak English there is because they need to improve their English at school. I can understand it's an English school and maybe in the classroom you need to speak English because everyone else needs to understand you. But if you're speaking to a friend of yours who speaks an African language, then obviously you shouldn't have to speak English to them at break or on the way home. So the rule has been taken to extremes that are, in my view, unconstitutional. And I think it's really important that we sort this out as soon as possible.
The principal of the school has been suspended for now. The Minister of Education has promised disciplinary action should the investigation find the allegations of racism to be true.
Okay, you see that? Now, even in South Africa, now, yeah, it's a plantation. Like I said, everywhere they go, they run it like a plantation. They're the ones always in the top position and everybody else down at the bottom. This white devil can't run nothing any other way. Everything is ran like a plantation. Now, no damn body on the continent of Africa should have to fight to wear a damn afro or wear their hair naturally because all of these invaders are there. And not to mention, the anchor is an East Indian woman, and this is South African news. That right there tells you something is definitely wrong there. Okay, South African news, we need to see some South African anchors, period. But you can clearly see the media, the education is all overran by devils. All right, where our people are just left helpless, just complaining about the system. It seems to be the same way all over the globe. But unbelievable. Here you are on a black continent and you have to fight to wear an afro. It's just a disgrace. Man, these people gotta fall, y'all. They got to fall. This world cannot move forward in the condition that it's in. There is no next level to this madness. It's just not. This world has to go in a whole new direction in the future. The way we are going now, it is just not going to fly. It is just not going to fly. There are way too many unhappy people on this earth. And if you think that's not going to make a difference, you better think again. A lot of these people are waking up, but that's a damn shame. You are standing in a black continent and they don't want you to be your natural self. And then when they say neat hair, what's neat hair? Their dog hair? That's neat hair? That ain't no neat hair. Okay. You know, I was listening to the book of Exodus last night. And do you know one of the plagues that the Most High sent in Egypt was lice? He sent a plague of lice in Egypt. I tell you, that's all we need is another good plague of lice so bad. These people will literally have to get their asses out of the public. That's what we need. We need that. We got to pray to the Most High for that plague. Well, Dolly, you know what it is? In order for white people to be in Africa, they have to get prescription strength sunscreen. The sunscreens on the shelves would never be able to keep them from getting burned. That's why they are in places all over Africa, because they have to go and get prescription strength sunscreen. Okay, that right there goes to show you the sunscreen they got on the shelf is not even sufficient enough for the African sun. But these folks want you to believe they built Egypt. Okay, it's not believable that they built Europe. It's not believable that they built Egypt, and it's not believable that they built America, because all of those places require the sun and daylight for them to be out in. And when all of those places, including this one, was built, there was no sunscreen on this earth. None. So how the hell would they have been able to do that with no sunscreen? And now there is sunscreen on the shelf. There's sunscreen on the shelf, and these people are still frying in the sun. What does that tell you? Oh, there's a lot of things. Well, we'll do that on another video. There's a couple of biblical things that I want to show y'all that matches up with the Bible. And we'll do that on maybe another live stream. Abraham and Isaac actually dug wells in Bathsheba over in Israel. Do you know those wells are still there that Abraham and Isaac dug up? They are historic sites over in Israel. And I'm going to do a video on that as well, so you can see where it's matched up in the Bible about them digging up these wells. They, dug wells up, and those wells are still there. They are actually there. But they'll tell you, oh, well, that Bible ain't real. But you know why they tell you it's not real? Because the Bible talks too much about their judgment. That's why they don't like it. And they try to discourage you from reading it because it's too much of their judgment in there. Yeah, they didn't build anything, y'all. All the big monuments that they're trying to take credit for, they did not build anything. They couldn't have. They couldn't have. And that's the big reason why I keep putting the sunburn stories out, to show you here we are in the 21st century. You can walk in literally any store, any pharmacy, any retail store. They all sell sunscreens, and these people are still frying up. That's the point that I'm trying to show you. Now, if they are frying up in the 21st century, you know damn well they were frying up thousands of years back. They were frying up even when they were in those caves. Yeah, there's pyramids. Remember, there's pyramids all over, in South America, Mexico. Those pyramids are all there. And believe me, no one that looked like these pale faces built any of those things. Right. They build anything that's destructive to humanity. That's right, Ayapo. They most certainly do. And it's a damn shame. Thank you, Cap. Thank you so much for that super chat donation. Again, like I told you before, everything we invented actually furthered humanity. Everything they invent destroys humanity. And they will keep on destroying the people, the animals, and the earth if there are not You know, the Most High is now doing things to lessen their blow, you know, where they don't really have much of a next generation coming up because they're not reproducing. And believe me, the opioid deaths are far worse than what we're hearing. They're never going to give you the true numbers. Always know that. Even the 64,000 for 2016 is low. It's low. They're lowballing all of the numbers. You know, just like they're trying to lowball the Black population. We know it. We are bigger and greater in America. You know, I see Black people everywhere I go. I see Black children. I see Black elderly. But one thing that I see less and less around me, when I see white people out and about, I see very few of them walking with children. I see very few with children. But like I said, when I'm in the store, I see a lot of Black and Latinos walking with babies and little toddlers and children, but I rarely see any white women walking with even a toddler. I don't even see that anymore. Every time I see them with older children, like teens. So you definitely can see the difference out here, but they got a lot of damn nerve being in South Africa and telling these folks they can't wear an afro and they are native to the land. And these folks are invaders. The invaders are telling you, you have to wear hairstyles that look like theirs. Get out of here. Hey, welcome from the UK. Welcome. Absolutely. Well, yeah, they've been trying to block out the sun with those chemtrails. It's not working. You know, there is nothing they can do that's going to overpower the sun. It ain't going to happen. I don't care what they put up in space. They are not going to be able to do a damn thing that's going to outdo the sun. It's just not going to happen. You know, they'll put that up there and the sun will burn it. It will. The sun will burn it. Look, the sun has burnt many of their satellites up there. Many of the satellites up there have gotten fried by the sun. Yeah, you know, they're so desperate to be here. That's what it is. You know, they can't believe they have to do all this stuff just to be on this earth. But that should tell you that you don't belong here then. If you can't stand the sun, everything get nourishment from the sun, the trees, the plants, the vegetation, everything, even the soil. But when you go outside, you're frying, something's definitely wrong. The sun is the giver of life. So how can you burn the sun? The sun is the giver of life. If it wasn't for the sun, we wouldn't even see all the greenery that we see outdoors. Yeah, they're not going to put nothing up in space that's going to block the sun. I mean, get rid. They have tried everything and they are just still frying, and that's the way it's going to be. You know, it'll be funny if they launch some crap like that and they fry even worse. Now, you know, I'm going to be on the floor laughing. Well, see, that's the problem. They're still colonizing over there in Maurice, over there in South Africa. That's why they're telling these students, you can't wear an afro. Are you for real? But this is what's happening in South Africa. You know, and like I said, you know, when I look at African news, I expect to see the native people doing the news. But you don't even see that. They got an East Indian woman as the main anchor. Are you for real? In South Africa? But see, they'll tell you things like, well, we couldn't find any qualified blacks, and they're lying about that. That is the biggest sham that they were able to pull off in this country for decades, because the bottom line is they don't want to hire anyone black. They know we got qualified people among us. And like I said, it makes me laugh when they say that about their cops. Look at how their cops function out here. What kind of qualifications? I believe at this point, I believe kids in junior high school would make better police officers than the ones we look at every day. You know, I think maybe they had that plan, Maurice, but I think this opioid epidemic has foiled a lot of their plans. I really do. I don't think they're going to be able to pull off what you think. Now, do I think they'll make an attempt on wiping us out? Absolutely. But they really seriously did not see this opioid plague coming. They did not see this coming. And as you can see with the flu, these hospitals are barely keeping up with the amount of people that are coming in there with the flu. So when you see that, how the hell are they going to handle large segments of population to wipe them out when they are struggling all around this country with dealing with people with the flu? They are not prepared for stuff like that. And that's what this whole thing is showing you. They were not prepared for this opioid plague. They're not prepared for the flu. They are just simply not prepared for things that hit them in a big way. And it's very obvious. Yeah, and we are, not only are we progressive, we are a people, we're the only ones on this earth that can take it to another level. None of these heathens have the ability to take us any further than what you see right now. They can't do it. They can't do it. They'll talk all that technology and all that crap, but they can't take us any further than what you are seeing right now. Right. Exactly. The vanguard. They do. They ban things that they can't do naturally. And that's true. Very true. You know, and that even happened during slavery. During slavery, during the Reconstruction, Black women were doing their hairs in all kinds of styles. And they were doing their hair up in jewels and everything. And the white women couldn't do it. So that's when they told Black women they had to cover up their hair and couldn't show their hair. But we were wearing better hairstyles than the white women. And they got jealous and mad and started writing into laws that Black women could not show their hair. We had to have our hair covered up at all times and all that crap. You know, and you notice, you see how they duplicate our hairstyle? You know, the Black men wear locks, the white men make attempts to wear locks, but theirs look horrible though. It really, there is a huge difference. Theirs do not look nearly as good on them at all. It don't. They look like a sick dog trying to wear locks. They really do. You know, or you see the Black women for many, many years wore and still wear cornrows. And then what happened? They came out with the movie 10. And then all of a sudden you saw white women running around here with beads and cornrows. Get out of here, you know? But again, they still don't look better than the original people in those styles. And that is the truth. Hey, problem solver EF. I'm glad you're here. You can see I made you one of my moderators. So there's no more issues with people wondering whether you should be here or not. You definitely belong here. Oh yeah, I saw that too, Europa Gary. You know what? I thought I had you as a moderator. Let me go ahead and make you a moderator. There you go. All right. You know, and the thing is, it doesn't matter. I've seen Klansmen too with those locks in their hair, but they claim they hate us, right? There's no need for you to apologize. Definitely don't apologize. But as you can see, in order for them to wear that style, they had to be watching us to some degree, right? They had to be watching us to some degree. Yeah, absolutely. All right, I can make Shayla a mod. There we go. She's a mod now. You know, and that just go to show you how much they really watch and study us. That's what it means. Oh, no problem. I'm so, just like I said, I'm glad you're here. Problem solve EF. The thing is, yeah, they call them boxer braids. That's right, Malika. And you know what? That's a joke. We know what that style is. Our people have been wearing cornrows for centuries. You can look at pictures of our people back in the 18th century and photos with cornrows, okay? These people are a joke, but they'll create the same style that we have been wearing for centuries, give it another name, and then try to claim they came up with it. We haven't seen them come up with a damn thing yet. See, Decent D, they're just locks. They called them dreadlocks. White people called them dreadlocks because they claim it looked dreadful to them. That's why I don't call them dreadlocks anymore. Once I found that out, I just call them locks. Hey, Queen, True Royal Family. But they have been doing that for so long, you know, stealing our thunder, giving it another name, and then claim they came up with it. Oldest trick in the book. Hi, my greatness. They shit lock. You're right. Because I'm telling you, if just go look at some of those pictures of white guys with locks, they look horrible. They look horrible. It does not have the same effect as when you look at a black man with that in their hair. Definitely not the same. Yeah. In fact, I saw a picture. This was a few years back, y'all. I saw a picture and they showed these white people. I believe it was in Appalachia, and you know, in the rural area. And it was these two white brothers with dreads. I was like, get the hell out of here. And this must have been probably like around 2012 or 2013. And I just looked at that picture and laughed. Yeah, they always use our slang. Always. Everything we say, once they pick up on it, they start saying that. But you know what? You ever notice one thing? As soon as they start using our slang, it becomes real corny. It becomes corny. If you notice. It's almost like they take the life out of everything. If we start saying stuff, they start saying it. But when they start saying it, number one, they start saying it out of context. And number two, oh, Donna, yeah, let's get them out. Thank you, Kat. Number one, it gets corny when they start saying it. And number two, they always say our slang out of context. If you notice, a lot of it they say out of context because they really truly don't know what it means. They just start saying it because they hear us say it. Yeah, we really do, Southern. We do dictate the culture. We do. That is the truth. Chimp locks. Sonny, you crazy. Well, yeah, that's why I get mad, the Vanguard Veritas, when I watch movies where they're dancing and doing hip hop type dances, and what they do is put the white dancers in the front and put all the black dancers behind them. I've seen that several times. That's why I won't watch those movies anymore. All those dances came from us, and you're going to put your artificial ass in the front and put the real dancers that came up with it in the back. Get the hell out of here. That's why I won't watch that stuff anymore. Because number one, they're just imitating us. Those dances came from our people. All those dances originated in the streets up in the hood. And now they can do it because some idiot showed them how to do it. Now, when you watch any of those dance movies, they got a bunch of white people up front and they got the black dancers doing hip hop in the back. Get out of here with that shit. I ain't watching that. And I've saw that in a few movies. That's why I won't watch that shit anymore. When they start doing stuff like that and it comes from our culture and you going to put a bunch of white dancers up the front, and get out of here with that. No, I ain't watching that. Because they always do that now. And yeah, S. Wiseman, they always do that now that a few of them know how to do hip hop. They always want to highlight them in the front, and I'm not watching that shit. It's almost like everything we do, they rip it off, start doing it, and then claim it came from them. We ain't seen one decent dance come from these people yet. Hell, they didn't even come up with square dancing, y'all. Do you know square dancing came from us? They didn't come up with that either. Mm-hmm. Good. I'm going to have to check that out, True Royal. Yeah, we came up with everything. In fact, America would not even have a music industry if it wasn't for our ancestors coming to this soil and singing out in those slave fields. They wouldn't know anything about that at all. I mean, every single music genre came from us. Folk music came from us. Blues, rock and roll, all of that. All of it came from us. The only reason why our people stopped singing many of those songs because back in the day it pertained to slavery and they wanted to get away from that kind of stuff. So of course they pick it up and run with it. And even to this day, you'll hear a few of them talking about, no, white people came up with rock and roll. White people didn't come up with no music genre in America. And I am not exaggerating. They came up with none. And even that devil rock and roll, hard, heavy metal, that's a ripoff from rock and roll. Okay, they just add their devilish lyrics on top of it. But that is actually ripped off from rock and roll, that heavy metal. So that ain't even original music either. Good morning, Raw Black. No, a black man invented the guitar. Very good point, the Vanguard. A black man came up with the guitar. Believe me, if they could steal our skin, they would have snatched it off of us and ran with it by now and claim, no, we were born with this skin. We were born with this melanated skin. If they could figure that out, they would have done it by now. No, their culture is everybody else's culture. That's their culture. Well, actually, Astarte Jones, Elvis studied Rosetta Tharpe. You know, a lot of people don't know that. She actually, he studied her. That's where he got his singing style from. He went to all of her concerts and watched her and studied how she was singing songs and everything. And he just started kind of just imitating her singing style. That's what he did. He didn't come up with that on his own. He had to come around black people. Come on. I mean, even Little Richard tells you the Beatles, when they got big, the Beatles were coming around Little Richard and learning from him. Their whole singing style came from Little Richard. Are you kidding me? These people. Are you kidding me? The Beatles? I mean, come on, think about our groups. The Beatles ain't better than the Isley Brothers. The Beatles are not better than Earth, Wind, and Fire. The Beatles are not, okay, come on. When you compare it to many of our groups, LTD, look at some of the groups that came out back in the day. Come on, they're not better than any of those black entertainers that were out then, Gladys Knight and the Pips and you sound like a wounded dog. You rock that right, S-Mac. I think Elvis sounds terrible. Every time I listen to him sing, I think he sounds awful. Yeah, you know, and that's right. Even the Temptations, the Beatles ain't hardly even better than the Temptations. Come on. We had groups out that way, way far exceeded the Beatles. But see, that's the biggest thing they had. And even the biggest thing they had to study black people. Come on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, you listen to any of our groups from back in the day and listen to the Beatles weren't hardly better than any of those black groups. But because of racism, they didn't get the same notoriety as the Beatles, but they were way better than the Beatles. Okay, you're related to Tavares. Yeah, see that there's another group that could outsing the Beatles. Okay. Yeah, you know, the Patti LaBelle actually went to my same church, Beulah Baptist Church over in Philadelphia. She was a member at that church, and that's where she got her start singing in the choir. I didn't know Patti LaBelle, but my mom and dad did when she was just singing in the choir. They knew, you know, who Patti was, and they used to, you know, when they went to church every Sunday, Patti would be singing in the choir. She sung in a choir called the Beulah Ensemble. And that's when Patti was a nobody. And my father went to school with Sam. Y'all might have heard, some of y'all might have heard of the group Sam and Dave. I'm a Soul Man. My father went to high school with Sam down there in Ocilla, Georgia. Yeah, they were, but they're not, they're really not all that good. When you listen to the Beatles, and like I said, you listen to a lot of the black groups that were out around that same time. You know who else was out? The Fifth Dimension, they were out. Main Ingredient. When you listen to, please, the Beatles couldn't out-sing those black groups. Come on now. Come on now. Because my mom had all them albums. She was a big music lover. And I still have her big album collection here. I still got it. So I know the kind of music she was listening to. I remember I was laughing. This white woman got mad at me because I was laughing at her. And this was back when Jim and Tammy Baker was on TV. And she was talking about, oh, Tammy Baker is such a great singer. I was like, Tammy Baker can't sing worth shit. And she got mad at me. And I said, there are so many black women that sung gospel that could put Tammy in the graveyard. Okay. They could outsing shit. Let me tell you something. There are black women in this country on a Sunday morning that sing in churches that can outsing most of the top white female singers that are out today. And I'm not, and many of you know what I'm talking about, especially if you went to the Christian church. If you went to the Christian church, you know damn well our black women got some damn pipes on them, okay? Plain and simple. And those women on a Sunday morning can blast the hell out of these top white women that are out here singing, and they are celebrities, period. And we know this. We know this. I don't even care if you haven't been in church for years. You know damn well we got women in those churches that could outsing them any day of the week. That's why I laugh when they prop up, oh, so-and-so is a good, oh, Adele. Are you kidding me? There are black unknown women in church on Sunday that can outsing Adele. Okay, give me a break. In fact, when my father passed on, his close friend got up and sung at his funeral. This man had the church in tears with his singing at my father's funeral. He got up and, I mean, he was hitting notes that just blew me away. And he sung solo at my father's funeral, and it was the most beautiful thing ever. And this man was nothing but your manufacturing worker. He was a United Auto worker, just like my father. But this man had a voice that would just blow you away. But he's unknown, but I'm telling you, you take any of these white males that think they can sing, he would have put them to shame with his voice. Unbelievable. But, you know, in this sick society, they get propped up even when they clearly don't deserve it. And that's what happens. And that's why they become the celebrities and the singer and this and that. And, oh my God, give them the Academy Award. And these people ain't shit. Okay? They ain't shit. Yeah, believe me, I have heard Black women on any given Sunday that can outsing Adele. And that is the truth. Yeah, you're Robert Gary. We were going back in old school time. Regina Bell, Melissa Morgan. Yeah, I never understood that either, Astarte Jones. I don't understand why so many of our people are hell bent on showing them everything. Me, even when I'm online, and a few times back in the day when I would still go back and forth with them, they would come and say to me, well, you know how they get, oh, well, go get me some proof. Well, I don't believe that. Get me some proof. I'm not going to get these demons no proof. They got access to the internet just like I do. If they want to know what something is, let them look it up. Don't ever go and get anything for them. They can Google it and go to all kinds of sites and get the information on what you're saying. The hell with that. Don't ever do that. They got high IQs. We shouldn't have to look anything up for anybody that's claiming to have a high IQ. And that's exactly what I tell them. Oh, well, I don't believe that. Where's your proof? I turn right around. Don't you have a high IQ? Well, go look it up yourself. No, don't help anybody that's claiming they got a high IQ. Then they don't need no help from us. Remember, we got low IQs. They shouldn't need anything from us. And then I remember another time I was going back and forth with some white guy, and he was like, well, this is our country. I said, yeah, but see, when it comes down to fighting, you want to drag Black people in it. And I said, you know what? If we got low IQs, then don't expect us to get on the battlefield with our low IQs and help you fight your own battle. Whitney, this is back when I was celebrating Christmas still. But every single year, I used to love Whitney Houston's Joy to the World. Oh my goodness. I had that blasting in my car. I was going back and forth to work and I was still celebrating Christmas. I loved her version of Joy to the World. I don't get them proof. They can sit there and talk about, well, I want proof. I don't give them proof because if you're going to sit there and tell me I got a low IQ and you got a high IQ, I shouldn't have to go look for nothing for you. In fact, I shouldn't have to answer any of your questions. I got a low IQ, remember? No, I'm not going to help them get no information. To hell with that. And plus, it's pointless when you are arguing with them because they're not trying to learn nothing. They just want to have an opportunity to fight with Black people. Exactly, Emerald Princess. They couldn't even win their own independence without the slaves. They had to go to plantations and get slaves off the plantation to help them fight for their damn independence. But they want to tell us they are capable people. Get that right. I don't even pay attention to that anymore. And when I hear that, you just understand you are dealing with they're going to go down as being the dumbest people to ever rule the earth. Seriously. Welcome, welcome. Everybody's welcome. Okay, y'all, we've been on here now for quite some time, so I'm going to cut out of here because I do have a few things that I have to do today. And, you know, we'll do another hangout next week, and I have to also get a hangout for my patrons, which we had a very good time. And we'll definitely do it again. But on that note, thank you for coming. It was a pleasure spending time with you as usual. And we will do this again, ladies and gentlemen. So until then, shalom. And I know many of you are doing Sabbath today. So Shabbat shalom. I actually do mine according to the Hebrew calendar and not the Gentile calendar. So, but those of you that are celebrating today, Shabbat shalom to you and shalom to everyone else. Peace, family.